Section 0 of Wayside Gleams. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by Krista, Zaleski. Wayside Gleams by Goodman Salverson. Dedication. These simple verses, like the humble flowers that spring in gladness from the prairie's breast, I dedicate, in love and honest fervor, to mine own land, the open-hearted West. L.G.S. End of Section 0.
Creation of the Birds by Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org. When brooding o'er the earth, newly created, where in her pristine splendor fair she lay, a beryl beauteous, mid encircling waters, the Lord grew lonely through the dragging day. So from the sun he took a spark of glory, and from the clouds their lovely summer hue, and from the winds the breath of dreaming ages, and from the fern the ever-sparkling dew. With all these things, in love and exultation, the little birds he formed with deep delight, and cast them forth from out his holy bosom, to make him glad with song from morn till night. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
To a Wild Canary by Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Czandra. To a wild canary, little flash of yellow, swinging on a bough with your voice so mellow. Oft I wonder how such a wealth of music from so small a frame pours and swells and rises, trills and soars again. Little flash of yellow, swinging on a bough with your voice so mellow, this I fancy now, in your tiny bosom, even while you nod, burns the love eternal of a joyous God. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Somewhere in Fields of France by Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Brushett. Somewhere alone in fields of France, in hollowed ground they lie. Somewhere the hovering shadow vast, o'er them his quickening quiet cast. Somewhere in fields of France. Somewhere they lie in fields of France, where fondly smiles the sun. Somewhere in reverence where they laid, in graves that men or angels made. Somewhere in fields of France. Somewhere they sleep in fields of France, the servants of the cross. Somewhere the night wind stirs the grass, on lowly mounds where God will pass. Somewhere in fields of France. Somewhere at rest in fields of France, perchance where thrushes sing. Somewhere the lilies lean above the blood-stained shrine of holy love. Somewhere in fields of France. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Merry Spring by Goodman Salverson. Read for LibriVox.org by Larry Wilson. Oh, the golden sandaled spring now comes tripping up the vale, bringing gladness, bringing gladness. In her step the grasses quiver, with delight the breezes shiver. What a madness, what a madness! To the heavens tresses tossing, to the patient earth her smile, fragrance making, fragrance making. In her breath the buds are rocking, to her arms the birds are flocking. Music waking, music waking. By the rivers lying lowly, over ribbon beds she bows. Fetters break, fetters break, calling to the drowsy summer, starry-eyed with recent slumber. Love, awake! Love, awake! End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
For Canada by Laura Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Krista Zaleski. For Canada. Grant us, O Lord, within the coming year, some vision of our noble destiny. Give unto us the strength to face anew adversity and sorrows, or again, good fortune with that valiant humbleness which ever marks a depth of inward grace. Grant us, we pray, sincere, courageous hearts, wide sympathies with minds that seek to see, in giving, joy and pride in honest toil, in beauty, truth, and good in all mankind. For every race, for every land, we pray. Lift them, O God, from out enthralling thought and prejudice, that they, discerning, find thy presence manifest on land and sea. But last, O Lord, for this our Canada, we crave thy blessing and eternal aid. Keep her beneath thy everlasting hand, and guide her in the path she ought to go. Keep her fair soul unflinching, aye and true, that she among the nations may arise, made strong with greatness from the fount within, imbued with love that knows not any death. This gracious land so young, so little tried, o'ershadow her with thine own righteousness, that she may stand a new Jerusalem, where man by giving much may gather more, where thy sane speech and creed of kindliness at last take root to flourish far and wide, till she thereon in very truth become thy citadel of justice on the earth. Grant us, O Lord, within the coming year, the vision of our final destiny, a nation worthy of her ancient dead, a fabric perfected from deathless dreams. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Asphodel Fields by Laura Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Elyse Rochelle. Grey lie the fields and pale are the flowers, fragile and wraith-like and studded in dew. Still grey the river encircling the bowers, bearing the barges deep purple in hue. As clouds after sunset, deep-tinted and solemn, they glide o'er the river so grey and so chill, through fields of remembrance where life's tear has fallen, mid asphodel flowers so pale and so still. Thus hope the great pilot and love the good captain, with patience eternal press on through the gloom. Somewhere living waters from God's gleaming fountain refresh the glad hills where the white lilies bloom. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Comforter by Laura Goodman Salverson. Read for LibriVox.org by Larry Wilson. O wind that ridest in rage the wave, yet croons so softly o'er the grave, that rocks the eagle in his nest as fondly as a mother's breast her solace gives. Thy breath has cooled the prophet's brow in far-off tribal times, and now thy fairy footfall charms mine ear, as trailing thee again I hear the brooding past. Those ages gone abide in thee, their hopes and tears and mystery. What follies and what sins combine to swell that mighty voice of thine, thou ageless one! And once amid the gleaming hills, beside the Galilean rills, thine oracle was sought by him, who mid the rabble and its din heard God in thee. Thus even as then, thy voice hath power abundantly to bless this hour. We gather what another gave, for God decreed that thought should brave time and eternity. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Hymn of Night by Laura Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Sunshine Rivera. O follower of the feverish day, thou calm, majestic night, thy sable-sandaled feet may pass among the trees and o'er the grass, and all will welcome thee. Thou handmaid of the hidden force, who loves and lendeth love, in thy deep heart our hopes lie blessed, beneath thy wings the world's at rest. Calm night, we welcome thee. Upon thy brow the galaxy in grandeur gleams anew, and on thy breast the crescent's beam appears of thine own heart a gleam. Fair night, we welcome thee. Pass o'er the deep, O tranquil night, and spread thy virtues there. Then confident the vessels ride upon the undulating tide, and all will welcome thee. Thou comforter of age and ill, of pain and grim despair, in thy embrace lies strength anew, upon thy lips are life's own dew. O night, we welcome thee. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Meadow by Laura Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Sandra. The Meadow. How lovely lies the meadow now open to my view, with pulsing emerald bosom all glistening in dew, with here a flaming lily, and there a daisy too, and yonder shrubs of willow that wave against the blue. How lovely rolls the meadow in undulations green, to meet the arched heavens o'erspread in amber sheen. How lovely 'neath the sunrise her bosom swells and heaves, with swaying prairie grasses and dancing summer leaves. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Life by Laura Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Laurel Brushett. A soul in slumber and dreams that creep, a heart awakened and eyes that weep, and the morning of life is past. A silver pool, a sailing swan, a shaft of light, and the day is gone, and the long, lone night appears. A darkened stream, a sparkling star, a sighing wind, and a call afar, and death, sweet death, draws near. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
And This My Love by Laura Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Laura. Deep as the sea and higher than the hills, which clap their hands beneath an ambered sky, when in the hush of his enchanted hour, tinting the clouds, the god of light goes by. Soft as the wind, which to the sighing rose breathes secret sweet of distant bowers bright, strong as the gale that bears the lonely barge o'er darkling seas toward the harbor light. Clean as the waters of sequestered pools that dream content upon the mountain's breast, calm as the chant of slowly gliding streams through green arcades which bid the wayworn rest. Even as these, so deep, unutterable, given of God to atoms such as me, hold I some part reflected graciously in this the love I give, dear one, to thee. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Arboreal Homily by Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Deanna Lee. Within the quiet of this calm old wood, where faintly falls the river's sobbing sound, where, like the filigree of some quaint shrine, the shades of sun-kissed leaves play on the sward, there broods a spirit benignant and wise, deep-souled, great-hearted, but with grief-stained eyes. There in the shadow of the hawthorn copse, where flits the oriole and the tanager, how lightly youth has rested ere she sped, with shout and laughter on her new-found path. Where ruby lips were pressed, do roses bloom, and daisies where the light feet danced at noon? Where gleams the river twixt her emerald banks, and onward flows impatient of the sea, has age not claimed her overburdened heart and hailed the music of the passing throng? Does love endure though love's own gift be dead? In clouds the gold of rays that long since fled? Bathed in the silver of the rising moon, fond memory's shrine still seems the silent wood, and oak and aspen, druids, that compel a tithe of tears for every season given. There broods a spirit with a love-lit face among the shadows of each lonely place. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Disinherited Conqueror, suggested by the cartoon Labor by Goodman Salverson, recorded for LibriVox by Dave Nicholas. I stand alone with empty toil-scarred hands upon the mountain of my life's endeavor. Below me the paths of pleasant wealth that I, the conqueror, realized never. With patient care the stubborn soil I've nursed, the stores of food the nation might possess. Yet of this bounty when it was dispersed, no share was mine to ease mine own distress. My strength had wrested from the bowels of earth her wealth of minerals to swell her dower, and yet I shivered by my lonely hearth, my portion penury, the slave of power. My tired hands have reared the palace wall, my ceaseless labors paved the nation's ways, in times of war responded to her call, and toiled in peace to build for better days. Because of me, the earth and sea and air have bent their power to the yoke of man, and yet I stand alone in despair, by wealth despised since the first world began. My weary back has borne the cross of toil, that others might to peace and plenty fly. To me no crowns, no share of kingly spoil. A conqueror disowned, I live and die. End of poem, read by Dave Nicholas, October 1st, 2022. This recording is in the public domain.
Fragment by Goodman Salverson. Read for LibriVox.org by Larry Wilson. When in the burning ardor of the day, the virgin freshness of the morn is lost, while at our feet the roses droop and sigh, and flying low the bees go droning by, on pillage bent, then in our hearts there dawns a nameless fear, as when asleep we toss in troubled dreams, yet waking know not why the pain, nor what the vision meant. Then as we sink beside the thorny road, nor care again the mystic goal to view, the balmy twilight furls her banners high, and fleet the winds of night go trooping by with fife and lay, while on the weary ear the songs of night fall sweet and softly, as the crystal dew that crowns the roses, and the eyes grow bright with dreams of day. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Would the Night Were Fleeting by Goodman Salverson, recorded for LibriVox.org by Laurel. Spring has decked the earth with flowers, angry winds are hushed, birds are nesting in the bowers, dreaming day is flushed. Tree and shrub are gaily flinging heavenward their leaves, through the meadow lightly springing. silvered water weaves. Star-eyed babes upon the breast smile content. Mad with love and mad with laughter, morn is spent. Faded autumn, faint and weary, lingers in the dell. Feathered folk that sang so cheery hasten south to dwell. One by one the leaves are falling, crying doleful song. Through the vale a phantom calling speeds the brook along. Aged seers with brows all wrinkled sigh in vain. Would the night were soon a fleeting day again. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Butterflies by Laura Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org. Dainty little butterfly, with your wings so airy, floating o'er the fragrant field, like a winsome fairy. Little butterfly, away, sport amid the flowers, like a dream of yesterday, sifting golden hours. Dainty little friend, away, linger mid the roses, in some velvet bosom lie, when the long day closes. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Calla Lily by Laura Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Sandra. Calla Lily. What dreamest thou of, O spirit frail and fair? What magic grace is borne upon the air to light thy face? Wrapped close within thy silken raiment, sweet, thy stamens' sceptres seem full meet for queen or king. Dost dream, perchance, of some far distant sun or silver star, when restless day is done and zephyrs rise? Or dost thou dream, O lily of the Nile, of purple waters under skies that smile thine image on? Or in thine heart dost guard and fast enfold diviner things than mortals know, the gold of patient holiness? End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Cui Bono by Laura Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org. Dawn, and the sun's first beam glides o'er the lea. Out from the azure deep love comes to me. Noon, and the torrid rays beat on the sands. Withered, love's flowers fall out of our hands. Dusk, and the setting sun glows in adieu. Night and the shadows fall o'er love and you. End of section 18. Read by Kerry Adams, your book voice, at Mesa, Arizona, on the 14th of October, 2022. This recording is in the public domain. Little Pilgrims of the Deep by Laura Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org. Voyager with pearly crest, speeding to thy island nest, where the reeds and rushes sleep, close beside the rocking deep. High betwixt the sea and sky, screaming loud, exultant cry. Safer there than near the shore, haunts of men thou fearest more. Lone thou dreamest mid the blue, God and time are one with you. Man may wreck thy body's grace, but thy soul soars on in space. End of poem 19. read by Kerry Adams, your book voice, at Mesa, Arizona, on the 14th of October, 2022. This recording is in the public domain.
Where Madonna Lilies Grow by Laura Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Sunshine Rivera. In the valley, where Madonna lilies grow, and the breezes, warm and gentle, fair as memory, glide and go, half revealing, half concealing, where the fragrant flowers blow. In the valley, lies a bower that I know, where in love, with heart enraptured, chants a choral sweet and low. Mother lowly, pure and holy, mid Madonna lilies glow. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
On Demeter's Breast by Laura Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Elyse Rochelle. Oh, when I come to rest upon Demeter's breast, would it were by the sea where waves might croon for me, and young gulls wheeling fast capricious shadows cast, and let the crickets pass all singing mid the grass. Or let my bed be made 'neath verdant cypress shade, where in pale luna's ray a plaintive tender lay the nightingale's refrain may sound for me again. Where on Demeter's breast I dream and smile at rest. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Love's Way by Laura Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Laurel Brushett. Love came one day on winged feet, alas, a being bright, and laid his hand upon my heart, within my eyes a light, and all the world took anew the hues of dawn and crystal dew. Love went one day on silent wing, alas, a heart should trust, should ever hope in love's light way to find a measure just. For now, in vain the morning light doth shed his ray to break the night. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Lament by Laura Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Deanna Lee. Beside the stream we wandered, joy led our feet. Upon our love we pondered, no love more sweet. The gentle night lay dreaming, mid starry fields a-gleaming, while Luna glory squandered in glad display. The zephyrs breathed a blessing, nor aught there seemed distressing, in life impatient pressing to live its day. Tonight the moon is hidden in shroud so cold, the thrush's anthem chidden, her love grown old. A sad lone vigil keeping, the night in grief lies weeping, while winds all sorrow laden complaining go. Upon thy breast a flower, that blushed in love's warm bower, bequeathed to death in dower, who laid thee low. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
In the Garden of My Heart by Laura Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Larry Wilson. A Song. High mid blue hills a little garden lies, bathed in strange dews, where never daylight dies, and songbirds charm away all strife and care, where joy and grief have knelt in common prayer. Chorus. High mid the hills where memory holds her sway, where you and I again may live our day, may laugh and sing, and list the thrushes call, in memory's garden where no shadows fall. In my own heart this little garden lies, the dews are tears that trembled in your eyes. The songs I hear are only love's refrain, where you, beloved, forever live the same. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Mother by Laura Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Filoria. For every soul there is a guiding star, for every heart a fount of tenderness. And thou art mine, O Mother, near or far, thy counsels rise to fortify and bless. For every soul who ever served just cause was led by love's firm hand upon the way. But men grow dull and met with world applause, heedless of pain which ushered in their day. And it is well a sacrifice supreme, life's birth with God, who fully counts the cost. In our mean souls we capture faint the gleam. To him who measures life no ray is lost. In loving thee, my mother, love I God. From thy deep bosom drew I strength and life, and from thy counsel formed my errand's road, which leads me still through fields of weary strife. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
To the Canadian nature poet Bliss Carman by Laura Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Nancy Beard. On the occasion of his visit to Regina. The holy hush of star-crowned night, the sun upon the sea, the drowsy murmur mid the pines, the tide-bound lone levee, the pearly mists of dawning day, the bird upon the wing, the laughter of the leaping brook, the glades where violets spring. The Master's love in these to trace, with voice so sweet, so clear, proclaims the priest at beauty's shrine, where gleams of God appear. Though glories pass and laurels fade, still may the bard rejoice. God walks a comrade through the night, with him that heard his voice. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Pastoral Romance by Laura Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Elyse Rochelle. Winding down the valley flows the brook. There I love to dally with a book. And Benjamin the haughty thing, though so blind, must hear me sing. Beyond the brook he loiters with his sheep. Here I sit so coyly, but I peep at the silly creature standing there, scowling like an ogre, grim old bear. Mercy, what's this splashing that I hear? Gracious, he is crossing, coming here. Foolish heart, don't flutter, he must never know that with all this shyness I had planned just so. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. In the Glade by Laura Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Elyse Rochelle. The fairest maid I met in the glade, to gaze on her was madness. Demurely gay she went her way, and with her went all gladness. Ah me, the world of sadness, the bitter world of sadness. Another day, another way, no more of maids the morrow. But I shall sigh till the wells run dry that feed this tender sorrow. Alas, for joy to borrow, for love and joy to borrow. But stay, my friend, 'tis not the end. More wit the maiden had. She sped, though late, to the old toll gate, and thither too the lad. Oh, sweet, so coy, so glad, so wise this maid and lad. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Pioneers by Laura Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Deanna Lee. Lift up your eyes, O Canada, to that exalted place, the god-lit hills of memory, where dwells the vanished race. Those stalwart sons, O Canada, that bravely fought and fell, and with their bodies paved the way, where truth and honor dwell. Those daughters too, O Canada, with calm, courageous eyes, that led the little stumbling feet to paths where wisdom lies. They beckon still, O Canada, to paths that span the blue, with patient and eternal faith in justice and in you. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
In the Mist by Laura Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Filoria. I saw a mansion gleaming, gleaming in the night, melodious echoes falling, sobbing, rising, calling, calling all the night. Maids adorned as flowers, fragile blossoms bright, round about were stealing, preening, whirling, wheeling through the night. Men are moths that flutter near the candlelight, or as hunters stalking, silent, ruthless, mocking all the night. I saw two spirits living, swift on wings of might, faith and love appearing, saddened, shocked and grieving, fleeing through the night. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Shadows by Laura Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Larry Wilson. Poor semblances, grotesque and curious, of things perhaps more stable than are they, a reflex of activities which make in one true life, but of the other shade, yet without one the other were not made. Poor shadows, ye have ever seemed so strangely imbued with will and eagerness. Ye walk, ye run, and blithely leap ahead with true intent, nor pantomime alone, some quest perhaps of substance which had flown. As runes upon a wall ye are to me, concealing more, methinks, than ye reveal. Yet this I read, ye were not here at all, were not reality between ye and the light, frail fleeing symbols fading into night. Poor shadows of the perishable dust, ye less than phantoms are of comfort still. For e'en as ye may hap my blinded self of mine own soul is but the feeble shade, the shapen clay whence life alone is made. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Morning Call by Laura Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Sandra. When the thrush's song is heard, ere the rose her dew hath shed, while the silver-winged clouds veil the glory of the sun, lovely nymphs with lithesome grace dance upon the verdant hill, whirling free with flying hair, singing gaily everywhere, calling, "Hearts awake and sing! To the winds repentance fling! To the winds your gloom and grief! Spring and happiness are brief!" Calling, "Love, thy dreams forsake ere the golden bauble break! Life awaits thee, calling, crying, hasten, love, the hours are flying." End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
In a Grove by Laura Goodman Salverson. recorded for LibriVox by Mandy Strefas in Cleveland, Ohio, on September 27th, 2022. I lay alone within a quiet grove. The silence of the place was sweet and sad, yet on the air were borne the subtle sounds which speak of life. Here at my feet a creature, timid-eyed, gazed in dismay at such a giant shape, while hugging close onto his breast an acorn. I did marvel at so bold a spirit, yet dared say naught, for that as great a fear was mine, full knowing I must lose that fairest sight if I but move. And here were songsters, trained in God's own choir, that sung his praises in the balmy air, while round my head the butterflies would flutter, then wing their way to gladden other haunts. I thought, how fair is life, how fair and fleeting! A moth with tender wings about a flame, a moment's joy, a dream of light and beauty, then the great darkness unexplained of men. Thus every beauty trails a thought of sadness, and every grief its hope of gladness too. While musing this, I glanced, and in the distance, behold where, on the ground in dread decay, lay a huge form that once had reared to heaven, with calm, majestic pride, each bud and leaf, whose branches welcomed birds and cast with gladness a gracious shade for good of weary men. Yet, aware it now grew creepers and soft mosses, and from the hollow trunk a serpent came and glided off, like some lone evil thought. But over all a little bush was springing, that loudly cried a message of good cheer. The evergreen and its young tender beauty made merry over death and dark decay. Thus I perceived the miracle eternal, the common law and final fate of all. Upon the grave the roses blush in beauty, and over both the rays of heaven fall. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Fragment by Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Sagarika. Wisdom were folly, had it no dream of aspects greater than objects seem, devoid of grace and inward fire, to purge its impulse and desire. Wisdom, then, no more would be wisdom, but its travesty. Wisdom were folly, had it no light that moved ahead, sublime and bright, bereft of vision, clean and true, to guide its bark deep waters through. Wisdom were not wisdom when wisdom's cause retarded men. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Infinity by Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Elyse Rochelle. The wind has taken living breath to soar above the lea, or nod upon a budding branch beside the crystal sea. The wind has taken feathered flesh to soar and sing in glee. The wind has taken all my dreams, those dreams beyond compare, and blown them o'er the barren fields in flowers sweet and fair. The wind has garnered every voice that soothed weary care. The wind has taken love as well, and borne it off on high, and there it gilds the tufted cloud that sails the evening sky. The wind has wafted golden love o'er clouds that hasten by. The wind has even taken hope and cast it on the sea, and there adrift upon the wave bejeweled it beckons me. The wind has left the gift of hope in gleams upon the sea. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
On Wishes by Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Laurel Brushett. Does the maple ever murmur to the violet at his feet? Would that I were fair and fragrant, fair as thou art, gracious, sweet? And the violet, shy, a tremble, dewy-eyed return a sigh. Oh, for broad and stately branches, proudly furled under the sky. Does the brook long for the mountain, and the mountain for the deeps? And does each grow more in beauty through the dream the other keeps? End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Fragment by Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Nancy Beard. Rushing brook that wakes the gorges, charms the uplands, cheers the lea, buoyant, singing songs of gladness, as in haste thou seekest the sea. Would, O brook, that so my madness left my fancy firm and free, that like thee, with joyful spirit, I would meet what fates decree. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Fantasy by Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Sunshine Rivera. If I might stand upon the mountain top and see the valley lying green below, nor miss the song of thrush and lilting brook, nor gold of daisy where the rushes blow, could I so stand at setting of the sun and view the rivers winding to the sea, nor miss the curfew, nor the beacon light, nor browsing cattle on the verdant lea? Could I remain above the swooping cloud, yet hail the rainbow in a rift of blue, nor miss the patter of the silver rain on cottage roofs that once so well I knew? If I might stand upon the mountain top and hear God's footfall as he hastens past, nor in the starlight miss the warmth of earth, nor earthly voices where my lot was cast, could I so dwell, yet were I not content, that this were heaven more than that below, where grief and gladness, clasping hand again, stand crowned in beauty mid the afterglow. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Inner Light by Goodman Salverson. Read for LibriVox.org by Larry Wilson. There is a light within my soul that speeds me to an unknown goal. I know not why, I know not where, but gladly go, nor fret, nor care. The night is dark, the night is long, but love is there, and hope is strong. There is a song as of the sea that calls and cries aloud to me. So sweet the sound my eyes are wet. More I would hear, yet more forget. So deep the strains that throb afar, celestial fair, each distant star. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Hall of Dreams by Goodman Salverson. Read for LibriVox.org by Larry Wilson. There is a spacious mansion, Hall of Dreams. It rests upon a base of ivory. The walls are hung in clouds of gilded sheen, and over all a purple canopy. And here are blossoms wondrous fair and sweet, and here are birds that sing in glad refrain, and here a couch 'neath leafy palm retreat, where weary memory may the while remain. Here shimmered, too, a shining spring upon bejeweled tears that fell in holy grief, and o'er it glides a silky plumaged swan, like hope eternal, bringing glad relief. When faint of heart, with lagging step I pass within these sacred portals on my quest, I hold alone a solemn holy mass, and find from brooding care abiding rest. And my weak self that fled before the storm, but rued its flight, stands forth in strength anew, and my fair dream that vanished with the storm finds home again in airy regions blue. And soon fair forms the mellow light reveals. They gather round with kindly smiling eyes. In their fond glances ancient sorrow heals, and vain regret before their gladness dies. The selves of them that living yet are dead arise in virtues they themselves disowned, and loved selves in death we long have moaned reveal that life has naught of death to dread. Though thrones may rock and reel as drunken men, and with their monarchs lie in crumbling dust, while glory's prowess fades from mortal ken, and honor's shield corroded be with rust, still that true self which builds its mansion high, to shelter thus the soul's serenity, doth build full well beneath the evening sky, the spires that last throughout eternity. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Voices of the Sea by Laura Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Filoria. The veil of night is lifting, and I dream in the grey dawn beside the water's edge, and wait in awe the day's first rosy beam, renewing once again the sun's long pledge. Each morn, from out the pearly mists of dawn, the golden glory breaks o'er land and sea. So, through the age when you and I are gone, and naught remains on earth of you or me, small cause then, friend, to flaunt our puny pride, to fawn on wealth, or after power last. The sea of time swift bears us on its tide to our lone harbor in the silent dust. The greatest gift of life is that good friend who points to duty with a smiling face in spite of grief, and bids us to the end be high of hope and worthy of our place. For every soul that drew from out the deep must heed the muezzin's call at set of sun, must go in shame or honor forth to keep a solemn tryst with fate when life is done. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Sea Song by Laura Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org. Read to you by Tricia Wheeler. Sea Song. A rollicking wind and a rollicking sea, and the well-tried crew I love. What ho, my friends, to the world's ends, to the world's ends go we. A gleaming sail and a spreading sail, as the good ship cleaves the wave. Can more be had of venture glad, for the lad both brave and hale? Oh, the sea's own breast is a troubled breast, and to treachery wedded her might. But aye she's dear, though oft she leer at the lads who love her best. An ireful wave and a roaring wave, and the seamen toiling fast. So ho, my friend, is the sailor's end, as he greets the insatiate grave. End of poem.
This recording is in the public domain. Baby's Dream by Laura Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org. Read to you by Tricia Wheeler. Baby's Dream. Last night I had a lovely dream. I saw a little fairy. She rode to earth on a silver leaf, from regions bright and airy. The little leaf had silken cords held fast to butterflies, and on their wings the starlight played a beaming from the skies. The fairy had a golden horn whereon she blew a note. Then in a trice on a moonbeam bright sailed forth a flower boat. The little boat was full of bells. The little bells all rang, and every flowerlet swayed in glee, and every birdie sang. Then when the clock was striking 12, and the moonlight was so bright, from every knoll the elves came forth. 'Twas such a pretty sight. They hung the fireflies 'neath the leaves to fright the dark away, for elfin folk so love the light, but may not sport in day. And soon I heard an awful noise, my heart about stood still, but it was just a raven black a-flying from the hill. The ravens are most wondrous wise, and everything they know. That's why the little elfin folk to them for news oft go. And I kept just as still the while, as though I were quite dead. But then my mamma called to me, and I saw I was in bed. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Love's Path by Goodman Salverson, recorded for LibriVox.org by Laurel Brushett. A path there is, all bathed in sunset glow, a path of dreams, well loved so long ago, a path where wanders lone the long day through, a dreary ghost that mourns for love and you. A little bird still sings upon the bough, nor questions life with why, nor where, nor how. Enough for him that borne on wings of light, his silver carols greet descending night. The gnarled old elms their silent vigil keep, about the river running broad and deep, and swift of flight to earth the shadows fall, the hill and glen enshrouding in their pall. On high, against the night's own dusky breast, her gleaming head the moon doth lightly rest, while sable robes adorned with gems are spread all round about, where'er the twain may tread. While through the dusk beyond the river's bend, where, in perspective, wood and water's end, a hollowed sight appears to all that roam, the thousand burning beacon lights of home. But I with bleeding breast have wandered long, a stricken spirit with a mournful song, the burden of it, not that love is dead, but that my king had been a knave instead. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
To One Departed by Goodman Salverson, recorded for LibriVox.org by Nancy Beard. I sense a spirit in the upland glades, a voice of sweetness, here along the brook, find fellowship of hands within the breeze, as tenderly it rocks the woodbird's nest. As attar of the fairest summer rose, the essence of your friendship lives with me. Though death may gather to himself the shell, wherein did echo faint the soul's refrain, yet freely gives to freedom that sweet will, which partly slumbered in your mortal self. And in the silence of the starlit night, in tides of thought, I find your friendship still. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
In Loving Memory of Haldora Olson by Goodman Salverson. Read for LibriVox.org by Larry Wilson. The autumn leaves of crimson and of gold, resigned in death, lie scattered o'er the sod, and thou, beloved, that did their grace discern, art fast asleep within the arms of God. But we, that weep the fading of thy flesh, the great heart stilled, the voice forever hushed, reflect that night is darkest ere the hour that o'er its brow the gleams of dawn are flushed. Thus in thy weakness thou wert nearer still the strength of God, wherein all life began, For spring and winter brush each other by, and life and death are one in His great plan. And though we mourn the loss of thy dear self, from this our world and all its fleeting care, the unknown path affrighteth us the less, since at the end thou wilt be waiting there. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
If a Maid Be Fair by Laura Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Nancy Beard. When a maid is sweet and fair, wondrous fair, is there aught in earth or air, or of sea will bring her care? When a maid is young and fair, oh, so fair! Love's a tyrant maiden fair, so beware! With his trailing grief and care, long will haunt thee everywhere. Pretty maid, be wise, beware, oh, take care. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Baby's Eyes by Laura Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Laurel Brushett. Pretty maid, my goddess, thou, love's bright crown upon thy brow, pomegranate lips I see, curled in kisses all for me. Pretty maid with dimpled chin, where the elves of mischief spin, who has made thee wondrous wise, planted wisdom in thine eyes? 2 blue pools of limpid light, veiling hidden visions bright, love and hope of all the ages, mirrored in thy living pages. Little maid, a priestess thou, twixt the infinite and now. Soon thy dreams of long ago will be hopes thou longst to know. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Childhood's Friend by Laura Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org. Read by Joni Crumb. Yes, he was right, old, my friend of that day. When I was so young, I knew not of life's way. Together we dreamed of the fairies and elves, and journeyed for raisins among his old shelves. So loving was he, that friend of gray hair, so calmly resigned to his invalid's chair. The room was my world, my throne was his knee. Around my dominions I pushed him in glee. We traveled to Iceland, the land of his love, and gazed at the mountains that towered above. We sat by the streams and inclined a glad ear to the harp of the fairies we plainly could hear. We marveled at geyser who roared at the sky and rushed up in pillars that fell with a sigh. O'er mountains we sped, full of wild outlaw caves, while troll maids were singing beside the sea waves. We visited cot and we visited king. We talked with the raven and heard the thrush sing. We went to the knoll where the black elves stay and repeated our prayers to drive them away. We forded swift rivers, our ponies were fleet, the rock-bedded gorge rang under our feet. We rolled o'er the ocean and breasted the gale, the sun from his splendor caressed the white sail. And when in the dust night's wing we could hear my weary head nestled his kindly heart near. Then out of the past with the sheen of its glow he crooned me a love song, tender and low. The room was my world, my throne was his knee, while all my dominions were dream-clad for me. But now there remains just the old empty chair to remind me of him who my day made so fair. End poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Courtship of the Sun, Norse Mythology, by Laura Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Amanda Goines. The mantled snow as veils the virgin hide, from prying eyes that bold in rudeness stare, the lonely earth enfolded, and with care smoothed every furrow gained in long despair. Above her bosom's matchless white and cold, the sun moved on with rays all passionless, yet oft his glances met her fixed eye, o'ershadowed in the clouds of his own sky. The virgin beauty, self-enfolding calm, aroused to peak the brilliant sun above, and gazing long upon her quiet rest, awakened deathless longing in his breast. Then long implored he, shedding silver beams, but in her gleaming shroud she hid her face. Thus gird disdain long since the love of fray, till Skirnir wooed her in a bolder way. So in his anger from imperial heights dispensed the sun the strong-armed mighty wind, and bade him with his rage the virgin chide with ruthless hands to rend her veils aside. So e'en as Gerd for mercy begged and cried, the tortured earth her promise meekly made. Yet as a respite from her fearful breast, then would she wed the sun at his request. Then every hour beamed the sun above, and every beam grew warmer with his love, till in remorse the earth in torrents wept away all fears and frost upon his warm breast. And from this ardor and these idle tears, a radiant thing was born with shining eyes, sweet spring with tresses where the sunbeams hide, and tender heart where love and hope abide. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Windows of Mystery by Laura Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org. Read to you by Tricia Wheeler. Windows of Mystery, on contemplation of the great coal sacks adjacent to the Southern Cross. God wove a garland away in the heavens, surpassing and fair. Each bud is a starbeam, each blossom a star gleam, with dust of their beauty is laden the air. This garland resplendent, so vast and so mighty, encircles the deep. Refulgent the lanes stray, God's own mighty causeway, that wends mid the glory the blue heavens keep. Where splendor meets splendor in rioting grandeur, the dim gaps appear. The sable-steeped windows, beyond which the soul knows God's greatness lies mirrored, majestic and clear. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
We Thank Thee, Lord, by Laura Goodman Salverson. Read for LibriVox.org by Larry Wilson. We thank Thee, Lord, for sunshine and for shade, for every tree and every tender blade that bows beneath Thy breath, for winds that cool the cheek in fever flushed, and gentle sleep that every anguish hushed, for crystal waters, elixir of life, and luscious fruits wherein the earth is rife. For all we thank Thee. We thank Thee, Lord, for joy and tender dreams, and every cherished hope, though it but seems to all the maddest folly, for silent prayers that rise on love's strong wing, and from above the richest blessings bring, for holy friendship, comforter of sorrows, and every soul that gladness gives or borrows. For these we thank Thee. We thank Thee, Lord, for life, and then for death, that in Thy bidding comes to claim the breath that Thou hast lent us. For the good ship that bears us sure and fast, with spreading sails that brave the tempest's blast. For the great Pilot given by Thy grace, whom through Thy mercy we may hope to face. For him we thank Thee. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Chant of the Deep by Laura Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org. Read to you by Tricia Wheeler. Chant of the Deep. My kingdoms are deep Yea, my kingdoms are vast, reflecting the wealth of the sky, with storehouses splendid where strange creatures sleep and sorrowing wraiths pass by. My archives are filled with the records of men, my isles with the gleam of their gold, and purple the current o'er vestment and shield, and bones that lie bleaching and cold. My bosom is flecked with the fleets of mankind, the pride of the wise and the strong, but deep in my heart lie the ships of the dead that wait and have waited so long. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Consider the Sun by Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org. Read to you by Tricia Wheeler. Consider the sun. Consider the sun. He rides on high, a monarch glorious through the sky. The planets before him in vanguard go. About him the stars in a garland glow. A coterie splendid of matchless grace, wheeling and whirling through measureless space. Consider the sun, his benignant way, breaking the gloom with his aureate ray, crowning the mountain, caressing the deep, kissing the bud from its nodding sleep, warming the breast of the toiling earth, blessing her babes of incarnate birth. The mightiest monarch, yet bending so low to whisper of love where the violets grow. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
To the Evening Star by Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Elyse. O Venus, most refulgent star, that from the purpling fields afar doth grace bestow, when on thy beams my eyes may rest, a burning flame leaps in my breast, a longing for Elysian quest, yet may not go. O radiant orb from out the deep, where mingling light and shadows creep, divine thy way, to breast the winds from God's own hand, and whirl through space at his command, while dwelling lowly on the sand, I breathe my day. O star of evening, beacon bright, a wanderer in the lonely night looks up to thee. A fleeting moment, then the dust needs yield the spark that lendeth trust. Yet he who guides thee, is just, and so to me. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Ad Finum by Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org. Read by Joni Crumb. Dusk, and the moon's fair gleam falls on the sea. Love and a far-off dream beckon to me. Night and the storm clouds ride over the sky. Anguished in mind and soul, stricken I lie. Winds from the gates of power swift whirling by. Cleansed in the gloomy bower, stilled every sigh. Darkness and gleaming star glows o'er the deep. Bathed in the Master's grace, calmly I sleep. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Heritage by Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org. Read to you by Tricia Wheeler. Heritage. The wealth of the world is courted and sought, but the wealth of our God can never be bought. It is had for the asking by you and by me. It is given in bounty to them that are free. There are gardens for pleasure, and valleys for thought, rich kingdoms all priceless that cannot be bought. They are held for the pilgrim that searches to know whose light crowns the mountain in mystical glow. There's gladness and laughter with loveliness fraught, where all find contentment that ne'er may be bought. For these are the gifts that are given and lent, that grow in the giving and never are spent. There are vineyards and orchards where beauty is brought, a handmaid plenty, but none will be bought. This heritage splendid the Lord gives to all that pause in the silence to hear his call.
End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Stray Thoughts by Laura Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Amanda Goines. Once, mid the lilies of Judean hills, a little lad in gladness laughed and sang, while on his hair the sunlight softly played, and with his joy the gentle echoes rang. The young lad Jesus, playing mid the hills, his laughter like the lilting summer rills. The young lad Jesus, mid the lily fields. And there was one that loved the quiet wood, and in the calm was filled with strength anew, whose gentle soul absorbed all things good, as calla lilies hold the crystal dew. And some there were that could not bear to see the depth of wisdom in his eyes so bright, and so they bruised and nailed him to a tree. But still his eyes are burning through the night. In all the years of dull and dreary care, when not a day is cloudless, but is bare of some sweet joy, teach me, O Lord, thy hidden ways, to find in all the round of dismal, heavy strife, and thus, at last, behold without alloy celestial skies. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
This is The Age of Reason by Laura Goodman Salverson. Read for LibriVox.org by Larry Wilson. There is a dearth of giving, a dearth of tender tears, a petty mode of living that withers up the years. No sound of exultation in glory fairly won, nor kind exoneration of deeds in blindness done. So little joy in beauty, or tolerance of pain, nor striving after duty which holds the heart of gain. So little time for leisure within the quiet wood, for men are mad with pleasure, nor cherish patient good. So little youthful laughter to lift our leaden care, that joy may follow after and dull delusions glare. So lightly cherished friendship that love needs hide her face, nor many find a kinship with her immortal grace. There is no time for dreaming in this progressive age, and none, alas, for gleaning the gems from virtue's page. This is the age of reason, though all men wonder what portends the changing season, and what the gods forgot. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Iceland by Laura Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Nancy Beard. Ah, little island, lying in the sea, by idle wind and wave and billow courted, in calmness thou hast dreamed full many a dream, while age on age with time have gaily sported. When men at length from wisdom file the key to glory's realm of love and unity. Thy crags and peaks in misty shrouds asleep are lifted to the azure of the sky, waiting the joy of summer's first warm kiss, to wake thy slumbering beauty, then to lie, a jewel chaplet wherein virtues sleep, a talismanic gem upon God's deep. Ah, little island, resting on the waves, in silence brooding on the dreams of yore, and all the valiant deeds forgotten now, when dauntless Norsemen hailed the lonely shore, and welcomed exile and the vaulted caves, in lieu of plenty and the yoke of slaves. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Dying Norseman, Norse Mythology, by Laura Goodman Salverson, recorded for LibriVox.org, by Laurel Brushett. The wings of my spirit are trailed in the dust, and the eyes of my soul cast down. The good sword of strength lies sheathed in its rust. The Valkyrs have tossed me a frown. The strength of my arms, but the strength of a reed, my blood slowly trails o'er the mound, and none have remained save the good trusty steed, who though patient of heart paws the ground. In the glow of the morning forth valiant rode we, the sun on the armor flashed bright. The gloom overtakes us laid low on the lee, pale Helia draws near with the night. Oh, would that I knew where the bright sword fell, and again that my arm had the strength to vanquish the flesh where the spirit must dwell, again ride a warrior at length. But hark! Is it thunder, this roar that I hear? What flashes so fair in the sky? Oh, can it be gods have inclined a good ear? Valkyrs, destiny inexorable, they appointed those who should be slain and carried to Valhalla, hall of Odin, paradise. Helia, goddess of a dismal world. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Question, by Laura Goodman Salverson, recorded for LibriVox.org by Nancy Beard. I know not what there is of life to be. I only know that all around I see things perish. The grasses flourish green at break of day. A blighting breath will bear their life away. Then what of me? The lovely rose that breathes forth fragrance sweet, the birds that every morn in gladness greet, they perish. The hoary oak at length will fall and lie. Another raise broad branches to the sky in this retreat. Am I, who moan and cry and virtues break, more dear to him who all these things did make that perish? Shall I not share the common fate of all? Or will not they too hear his gracious call, again awake? End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Ode Dolorous, by Laura Goodman Salverson. Read for LibriVox.org by Larry Wilson. Barren tree and meadow bleak, faded flower and withered cheek, shadows swooping behind the sun, gladness and summer and youth are done. Song of linnet, lay of lark, lost in the breast of the gathering dark, lost in the darkness, heard in the dawn, heralds of beauty now faded and gone. Whither comfort, whither gain? Where the recompense for pain? What for truth's elusive glimmer, sought and loved, but captured never? End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Heart's Ease, by Laura Goodman Salverson, recorded for LibriVox.org, by Laurel Brushett. The dawn is sweet and fragrant, and fair the noonday sun, yet welcome, too, the shadows, at length when day is done. So dear the hope of springtime, so love the fruits it bore, yet fonder far remembrance of all that went before. The shaft that lights the mountain, but wearies aged eyes, while softly glowing embers may light them to the skies. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Consolation by Laura Goodman Salverson. Read for LibriVox.org by Larry Wilson. Though dusk and darkness gather round about, and storms beset my worn and weary soul, yet ever stronger beats that pulse of life called Memory, who within her bosom bears the hopes and fears and dreams of all mankind. Her magic wafts the shroud of death aside, and those we loved draw near in garments fair as gossamer and clean as summer rain. With wisdom they are shod, and on their brows the laurels wear with sweet humility. And grief, that milder sister of grim death, in silence passes, casting shadows wide. Before her chastening rod corruption flees, who fain would feed her venom to our veins. Thus in the dreams that rise o'er old dead days is born contentment and a sense of peace. And when we shrink and tremble on our way, nor stay the tears that rise o'er vanished hope, we find withal in solitude that friend who points to Memory with her soft warm breast. And there, like children wearied out in play, our tears may hide and care and all defeat. Then from the boundless deeps of universe come sweeping waves that gird us in new strength. On God's own breath return the thoughts of men to their old haunts, and I more fertile grow. New prophets rise, new bards with silver tongue, proclaiming new the old eternal truths. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Religion by Laura Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Nancy Beard. A host still serve their Lord with verse and song, and golden hours spent on hell discerning, protesting loud the follies of the throng, who harvest death, poor knaves, as pleasures earning. To read the holy book alone, they say, nor waste our minds through wisdom's mad undoing, is meet enough for any dreary day, unless perhaps the devil is pursuing. In every worldly pleasure there is sin. Ah me, what dismal terrors have been brought by this old phrase which has been revelled in, since first men warred to kill what others thought. A Christ of peace was taught at point of sword, on humble knees we fell before the blade. A God of war is preached by silvered word, and loud hosannas echo up the glade. So age on age and creed on creed must go to their own death, intolerant and slow. Confusions and disasters, these we know, but God moves on in dim, untrammeled glow. So drink I deep of nature's splendid yield, as he once drew from out the lily field, and round about, in spite of mad alarm, is yet the strength of God's eternal arm. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Gift by Laura Goodman Salverson. Read for LibriVox.org by Larry Wilson. So much of wondrous praise, high altars rich in creeds, their priests in robes of splendid weave, with gracious prayers. What does it leave for such as me to bring to thee, O Christ above, thou Christ of light and love? My trusting heart I bring, and all that in it dwells, the sound of the sea, the song of the bird, the sigh of my soul that oft thou hast heard. The hue of the flower, the sheen of the shower, to thee I give, that in thee again they live. the smile of the summer sun, the breath of the evening breeze, the might of the mountain, the depth of the deep, the flash of the lightning and shadows that creep, the dew of the night and the bright starlight I lay at thy feet, O Christ, at thy shining feet. The charm of youthful days, the calm of patient age, the wonder of friendship, the faith of a child, the sweetness of romance, the hours it beguiled. These blossoms of mine are all I could find to offer and bring to offer my Lord and King. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. The Gift Acceptable by Laura Goodman Salverson. Read for LibriVox.org by Larry Wilson. Throughout the world I sought a jewel meet to lay an offering at the Saviour's feet. In deep recesses where the diamonds sleep, in coral caves where darkling waters sweep, it was not there. Mid kingly courts where every costly gem that time and toil had yielded up to men was proudly flaunted in its lambent hue, yet in despair I fled, for well I knew these were not fit. I gazed within the ruby's blood-red heart. I plucked a rose and pulled its leaves apart. There, deeply hidden like a crystal tear, a dewdrop trembled, silver blue and clear. Love woke my heart. O Lord, I cried, the lustrous stones are cold. Life's rarest gems are known to thee of old. The tender tears that fall from mother's eyes, where 'neath thy wing she leads toward the skies her little erring ones. So to the Saviour, who all sorrow knows, I brought my heart and what within it grows. The knowledge blessed that mothers are the gift God gave the world to succor and to lift each soul to grace. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Brothers All by Laura Goodman Salverson. Read for LibriVox.org by Larry Wilson. I saw a structure rearing heavenward, with beacons blazing, shedding far their light. About the base were multitudes to guard the pillars, deeply sunk into the sod. Long gazing, I a motley throng discerned, within the orbit of each light revealed. Here men of state, resplendent, unconcerned of mad disaster, rode their sovereign way. And here were men who chatted loud and long to trick the fancy of the sluggish slave, lest he awake and sense his age-old wrong, and with his children walk into the light. And here was science, wrapped in darkened shroud, and here was art behind a golden screen. And here was justice, heavy chained and bowed with ancient grief and crying for release. With fattened purse were merchants large of girth, that eager of the beggared snatched a coin, and with their wives were rocked in righteous mirth, that in return but half the worth was given. Here too were some that would the laws reform, and wrangling long, grew drowsy o'er the cup. And while they slept, borne on contention's storm, the weak were whirled as chaff before the gale. And men renowned with care and cautious stealth were planning bridges that should span the world, or which should roll the chariots of their wealth, where none should pass that built the bridge with toil. And as the bird, hypnotic of the snake, will gaze in anguish nor to freedom fly, mine eye nor sought the tower's charm to break, nor spy the strength wherein the base was set. Then through the air there shot an awful cry, and in mine heart it echoed loud and long. I saw within the temple many die, and with their bodies keep the tower strong. How wrong, I cried. O God, why must it be? And in the dusk an angel I spied, and he replied, Until all mankind see that all is theirs, the tower and the might. These bended forms with gaunt and hollow eyes and shrunken limbs are blinded yet that they might let the tower fall, that to the skies now proudly rears its head, nor counts their toil, that they themselves have raised their masters up, and madly cheered them in their vanities, so shall they toil and drain the bitter cup, till they awake and claim their human right. And he who builds with brawn the gleaming barge, and he who guides it o'er the restless deep, shall e'en as one confront their master's charge, his servants both, to aid their fellow man. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Slumber Song by Laura Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Deanna Lee. Sleep, pretty baby, the daylight is fading. Rocked in the breezes, the blossoms all nod. Over the heavens a warm glow is spreading, gilding each pathway the angels have trod. Night now is nearing, with balm and with blessing. Weary each birdling, worn wings now may rest. Come softly stealing, the careworn caressing, dreamy-eyed sleep of the peace-giving breast. Sleep then, my baby, in God's grace o'ershadowed, e'en as the lambkin the shepherd holds dear. O'er the silver-browed bridges that span darkened shallows, angels come speeding to lull every fear. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
My Plea by Laura Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Bruce Kachuk. If I from out the universal store one thought have gathered to my soul as guest, oh, let it live when I am dead and gone to bear a fruitage in some kindly breast. If I at last have dreamed a dream so fair that in my barren life its wing be drooped, oh, let it live when I am dead and gone to find a voice and sing as I had hoped. If I have longed for life abreast the plain, ill passion scorning and above the cloud, oh, give it room when I am dead and gone to break in beauty from the clinging shroud.
End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Sleep, O Shining Love by Laura Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Bruce Kachuk. Blow, blow, silken wind, softly, sweetly, delicately, in and out among the trees, round and about, O summer breeze, in a dancing roundelay. Sing, sing, silver bird, thrilling, spilling merrily, up and down in a ladder of sound, from the deep blue sky to the dark green ground, in a surge of ecstasy. Flow, flow, river of gold, calmly, strongly, endlessly, over and on to the purple sea, restless and hot as the heart of me, in a world of memory. Sleep, sleep, O shining love, softly, sweetly, delicately, in and out and through the years, minding never the falling tears on your emerald panoply.
End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
April Rain by Laura Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Bruce Kachuk. Oh, April is a month of rain, of softly gray and silver rain, that tinkles down the window pane, in elfin ripples flowing. Come out and hear the merry sound of grasses springing from the ground, and emerald leaflets all around, in ecstasy a-blowing. Oh, while the rain is dropping down, in pearl and silver slanting down, come out and see the hooded town, in fairy sheen a-showing. Oh, April is a month of gold, of lacquered blues and greens and gold, of swallow flights and songs ne'er old, to hearts of April's knowing. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Whither and Away by Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Aidan Coppinger. Young love, dear love, whither and away? To the brown and amber hills where the fairies stay. Brown and tall the grasses, gold the sun between, where the sable crickets pass, caper and careen. Sweet love, shining love, whither on and why? To the birchwood soft and shining, silver massed against the sky. Tremulous and shaken by each gust of wind, dreaming in a witching ring, wondrous to find. Kind love, soft love, whither on so fast? To the mountain gray and old, shadowy and vast, where the black pines through the day sit and watch the sky, and on wings of majesty drifts the eagles by. Grave love, kind love, whither now a-going? Westward to the shoreless sea, where the winds are blowing. Blowing from the hills of time its scents sweet a-bearing, and the tides come singing and lotus buds a-wearing. End of poem.
Song of Seasons by Laura Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Nancy Beard. The soft wind runs through the rushes and bends the reeds, and the little withered grasses bow low, and swaying against each other whisper and sing, and the sound is soft enchantment of summer suns and spring, and the swallows silver sailing on swift and tireless wing. The cold wind sweeps the rushes and rattles the reeds, and the little withered grasses bow low, and swaying against each other shake their beads, their globule rosaries of rainbow frost and seeds, and the snowflake stars come drifting to sparkle on the reeds. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Where Wind the Roads of Arcady by Laura Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org. Where lies the road to Arcady? Along the hill or to the sea? Where lies the road to Arcady? I would away to find it. Are swallows fledged in Arcady, and honey brewing taught the bee? Oh, where's the road to Arcady? I would away to find it. Lie moon and stars in Arcady, all white and silver on the sea? Comes up the sun at Arcady, and lambent flames a thunder? Sing low, sing late at Arcady, the meadow lark and belted bee? Sail dragonflies at Arcady, on rainbow wings of wonder? Where wind the roads of Arcady? Ah, foolish heart, and don't you see? The west is all one Arcady, but love alone can find it. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Little One and Dearest, A Memory by Laura Goodman Salverson. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Brushett. O little one and dearest, O little one and best, your head upon my shoulder, your heart upon my breast. O little tears and laughter, and winsome smiling grace, all melody and rapture, beguiling from your face. O little feet so eager, and little hands so swift, to twine the yellow daisies, and bring them for a gift. O little one and dearest, once more to hold you blessed, with dewy sleep we're having the Christ child for a guest. How shall I not remember, O little one apart, with your eternal springtime asleep within my heart. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. End of Wayside Gleams by Laura Goodman Salverson.